All right, what's going on, y'all? You listening to King Cam Ujumbe podcast. Ujumbe means message, and today's message is we're dealing with chapter 6, Stolen Legacy, chapter 6. What's going on, everybody? What's going on to the fam in UK, the diaspora in Saudi Arabia? Much love to the fam, Saudi Arabia, the House of Family, in Dallas. What's going on? My people in Dallas, Kenya, Ghana, all over. I really appreciate you guys listening once again, to King Cam Ujumbe podcast, which is Swahili for message. And we're going to get right to information. This is session 5. I know the screen says session 4. Let me get to the right screen here. Boom, session 5. All right. So let me share my screen and let's get to work. All right, here it is, session 5. Now, and of course, it is an introduction to African history. This is not for the veteran. This is not for the people that listen to all the YouTube videos, go to all the lectures and all the Blacks Expos and everything. No, this is if you enrolled in an African history course for the very first time ever. This is what it's designed for. It's designed for, and it's geared for everyone. Number two is geared for everyone, all ages, and it's designed to foster a life of learning. We're all in this together. I make mistakes. I'm learning from you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. And this will happen once a week, okay, for at least another week or so. We're almost done with summer school, really, seriously. We're almost done, but we're going to go over a few readings from Black authors. Since it's the summertime, I didn't want to go into the heavy lifting and go into the depth, the deep books and stuff. We just little short readings, including one we're going to deal with, Stolen Legacy and Ethiopia, the Origin of Civilization. All right. Okay. Now, today, this is the objective. Today, we will identify and discuss major concepts in the book entitled Stolen Legacy in chapter 6.
If you have any
Okay. I'm sorry, you guys. We had another announcement. That's one thing. Even though the day is over, the day will not be over till you have about 5 or 6 announcements, that kind of thing. So that's the thing, dealing with public school education. You'll have 12,000 announcements announcing the same thing about 12,000 times, and somebody's not going to do it. And we're talking about adults, right? So yeah, they reminded us to clock out and all that good stuff. I'm going to clock out. I'm going to get paid, that kind of thing. But we're going to identify and discuss major concepts in the book entitled Stolen Legacy in chapter 6. All right. Now, we're going to focus on the Athenian philosophers and their ideals, and then we're going to talk about what's next. The Athenian philosophers, the ones from Athens, we talked about the ones that were in the earlier period, but now we're going to talk about Athens. Now, we're going to deal with Socrates. He was born in Athens in 469 BC. Now, what did he deal with? He dealt with the doctrine of the nous, or the mind. For my psychology majors, that is something heavy, because I would ask my students, what's the difference between the brain and the mind? There is a difference. Y'all tell me in the comments, what's the difference between the brain and the mind? All right. And the doctrine of the supreme good, or the sonum bonum, or something Latin, that kind of thing. The supreme good. Now, keep in mind, this guy came around 469 BC, so we already know it. These kind of concepts came about eons before he got here. But Let's roll with it, right? The doctrine of the supreme good, son and bonum, and the salvation of the soul. Is that a new concept? No, it is not. However, he, they gave him that, all right? The salvation of the soul. And now, a little bit more into Socrates, he dealt with the doctrine of self-knowledge, or know thyself. Where did he learn this from? Because this is, these people would give them that. They would say, hey, you're the one that came up with this idea. He said, okay, fine. No, where did he get this from? Okay. And we hear brothers say knowledge of self, know yourself. Where did he get this? Where did he learn this? It didn't just land in his lap as an idea. Y'all tell me in the comments, where did he get this from? I know some people already know this one, but I had to set it up. Yes, it came from the Grand Lodge of Luxor, or Waset, or the Ipit Asut. Okay. He came from the South. Okay, it didn't come from Greece and Rome. He went to school there. He went to school in Thebes. He went to school with the Africans in Africa, located where? In Kemet. That's where he got it from. Because it was inscribed on the walls. Man, know thyself. Know who you are. Know your strengths. Know your weaknesses. That's the thing. That's very important for us. Even today, we should know who we are. We should know what we're about. We should know what we can do, what we cannot do. There's some things that I would like to do, but I can't do them. So it's very important that we do that. What do you guys think about knowing yourself, about the importance of knowing who you are and what you're about? I ask my students all the time, I ask them, who are you? I'll ask them, the first week of school, write 3 things that make you different. And they'll normally tell me. And then I will go on to say, if you don't know anything about you, you've been with you all your life, you got some homework to do, right? So he got to that concept, knowing yourself, all right? And he had to do it. Now, the next person, Plato, born in Athens in around 427 BC, and Plato was the kind of cat that he was young when Aristotle and all them left the scene. So, but he was also initiated in these same schools of thought. So, but he was coined with the theory of ideas. Like, I guess they ran out of ideas, so they said he gave him the theory of ideas. I don't know. But the doctrine of the real and the unreal, the seen and the unseen, that is straight up an African concept. I say this many times. I know I don't know who I heard it from, but science is tangible spirituality, and spirituality is science intangible. African people deal with it all the time. They don't just heal the person and say, hey, take 2 of these and call me in the morning. No, they say, okay, who you cussed out last week? Yeah, it's the unseen, okay, that we deal with also. The spirit realm and all those things. And I don't deal with the symbolism and the esoterics of it all, but we as Africans handle that in multiple ways, right? So he dealt with the theory of ideas, doctrine of the real and the unreal. And of course, he dealt with, the doctrine of the mind, which is not a new concept. But this what caught my attention right here. This right here, the doctrine of the demiurgos, or the demiurge, okay, in creation. What is the demiurgos? What is that? Why did that catch my attention? Of course, he dealt with some other things, but his writings, all these things he said he wrote, were disputed. Why is that? Why was they disputed? Why was it an issue? What do y'all think? I know why. You know, he just came, all of a sudden he came with all these books that, hey, bro, I wrote this last week. The people in Athens say, did you really? Did you really write these? You know, somebody would say, Cap. Yeah, yeah. You know, no, I got the theory of ideas, bro. We heard that. No, you didn't, bro. You didn't get that. What about the doctrine of the real and unreal? That got to be mine. No, that's not yours either. So the people of Athens disputed all of these things. Why? Because they were for, and the reason why a lot of the so-called philosophers were in so much trouble was because they was coming into Greece, the Greco-Roman world, with foreign concepts. So let that sink in. A lot of their stuff were foreign. It didn't belong to them, but they ascribed themselves to it. And we talking about, you know, mountains of information, mountains of transcripts. If you guys ever check out the libraries of Timbuktu, you know, some of the families that kept those things were compounded year after year, century after century of information. It's just walls of books and manuscripts written, handwritten. And so, and all of a sudden, this cat come up with this? No. So now let's get to it. The demiurge or the creation story. Where did he get this from? Okay, this concept dates back 4,000 plus years before he got there. So this was a Egyptian cosmology, Kemetic cosmology, dealing with the Neteru or Neter Ptah. Even that sound, it makes a sound. You know, every African word produced a certain sound because that's what, you know, in their mind, that's what it made, that's what it produced. It wasn't just a name, it was a sound, right? And so Kemetic cosmology was in three parts. Part one, it deals with the Neteru of chaos, represented Ptah emerging from the primordial waters of Nun. Okay, so this was chaotic, a void. It was empty. Okay, that's according to the Memphite cosmology. Okay, part one deals with the Neteru of chaos. Everything was everywhere, and in the form of a hill or Tajenin, the risen land. Out of that void, out of the waters of Nun, emerged a hill or Tajenin, the risen land. Ta, land, Jenin is risen. I learned something new today, right? Check it out. So part one deals with chaos, right? Part two deals with the Neteru of order. Order. So out of chaos came order. So it represents a tun emerging from the chaotic water, sitting on the hill. Okay. Now we have light. Now you have vision. Okay. Emerging from this. Okay. And so he represented the order. Okay. He represented things, put it in place before things was happening. Now it's happening. Right. And then part three, the Ennead. Now we have compartments. Okay. We have part one, chaos, part two, order, part three deals with the Ennead. That's when we dealt with in the previous videos where every god or neter had a goddess, male, female. Okay, it was always like that. It was always, if you have a king, you must have a queen. That's what it is. Nun, nano et. Okay, primeval matter and space, haket, boundlessness, illimitable. Okay, ha-het, darkness and obscurity, amun et, or mut, the hidden one and the concealed. There were opposites, but they were put together. Okay, the people in your lives got to compliment you They can challenge you. Yes, they should, but they have to compliment you. They got to make you better. And I believe that's what this whole thing is all about, making life better. But for my science people, how was this connected scientifically? How was this connected scientifically? The Memphite cosmology, Memphite theology, they each one of the Neteru represented an element or a chemical element, an ion or a proton or neuron or something like that, or moisture, air. All those things can be broken down in a chemistry class. The Neteru represented elements of the universe, of this planet. They weren't just a person walking around with a bird head or something like that. No, they represented things that the Africans saw and they personified them, you know? And so that's what they did. That's what they put together. And so the Greeks and Romans finessed it, right? So check it out. Now, the doctrine of supreme good. Okay, Aristotle dealt with that. I really didn't touch on him as far as where he's from and how he's born and so on. But the doctrine of supreme good, the summum bonum, why is that important? Why is that put together? Well, the doctrine of supreme good deal with the person. It wasn't, see, the thing is, we focus on society or the nation, but the individual is trash. Let's deal with that. Let's deal with that. If I had coffee, I would sip it, but I got water, right? Let's deal with that. Supreme good. Remember chapter 3, the neophyte was required to manifest the following soul attributes. And in order for that neophyte to go to the next level, remember, this cat was in this thing for 40 years. Another reason why these Greek philosophers couldn't get down was because some of them didn't last that long. Some of them was in it for 20 years and that was it. Okay? In order for you to be the Kari Heb, like Dr. Crazy would say, you had to be in this thing for 40 plus years. And you have to display these soul attributes. Remember, the control of thought, control the way you think, control your perception. Can we do that? Control of action. Once I think it, should I bust this person in the mouth? Should I respond like this or shouldn't I? Fortitude, bravery, temperance, evidence of a call to priesthood. Do you have a calling on your life? I believe everybody does. You know, that's just my humble opinion. I believe everybody's called to do something and to do it well. Me, I'm called to teach and to, let me put my glasses back on. I'm called to teach and to help other people. So, and a little bit more so attribute, freedom of resentment. Okay, when somebody do you wrong, do you hold that thing for like 50 years? Come on, bro. Confidence in the power of the master teacher. Do you believe in the person that's teaching you? And do you believe you have confidence in your own ability? Once you learn this stuff, are you able to reteach it to somebody else? The way I teach my classes in school, if this person wrote notes basically every day, they should be able to teach it to somebody else. It's not just a graduation requirement, okay? But now, so that's the thing. Can you be able to, are you the master of it to where you can teach it or do it? I wonder about our education system. Has that really been the case? Y'all can, comment below, all that good stuff. All right. And readiness and preparedness for the next initiation. Yes, they made sure, them elders made sure these people were prepared. You couldn't just, oh, okay, we're gonna go ahead and send them to the next grade or next graduation or whatever. No. He flunked, she flunked. No, you stay here. There's no such thing as social promotion. Are they ready? Right? So, but you had to display those virtues. You had to do that. And they had to know. Not just the elders have to know, but you have to know yourself, right? Now, the doctrine of God. Yes, the Greek philosophers felt like they came up with the concept of God himself. No, 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 no. The unmoved mover or the hidden one has been among us forever. Okay, that's the thing. They tried to coin it, but no, it's once again an African concept. Came from the South, came from further south, further below Egypt. It came from the very beginning. The that they would call Zeb Tepi. The very beginning, right? And so they coined the concept in Greek philosophy, the concept of the soul. Soul being sensitive, rational, nutritive, competitive, having appetite, and locomotive. That was them. But in Kemetic thought, the soul was way more than that. Way more than that. Dealing with the ka. Y'all heard these terms before. The ka, let me get to, I'm going ahead of myself. Very excited. The ka, which is the abstract personality. The khat, K-H-A-T, the khat, that's the concrete personality. That's the physical body itself, right? The mortal. The ba, which is the heart, soul, okay, that dwells with the ka, in the ka, and the ab, that's the heart that's being weighted, that's being weighed. Guard your heart, guard your grill. You know, everybody shouldn't be able to get into that personal space, right? And the kaibet, that's the shadow, as you see on the picture, the shadow associated with the ba. Okay, that is all these things make up that person. So it's not just the physical body, but it's the everything, right? The ku, that's the spiritual soul. Okay, the spiritual soul, which is immortal. It's also closely a lot of these are connected with the ka or the ba. That's the reason why most of the time you only see those two. Okay. And on the picture, you see what they would call a false door. They would call that a false door. I know this is not in my notes, but I had to go and say it. But the false door is not a false door per se, where they was trying to, like the Europeans would say, they're trying to trick the grave robbers or what. No, bro, that the door wasn't for the physical body of a person. It was for the soul of a person to go into the duat or the aket, okay, into that next world or whatever, the realm of the ancestors, to become an imperishable star and so on. And so, you know, just a side note real quick, that's for free. Enjoy. The Sa'u, okay, the spiritual body. Now the Sa'u, you see that a couple times. It's not just the spiritual body, but it's also represented as a star. The Sa'u, okay? So you hear that on Lion King, you hear that on many other stories where the ancestors become stars. That is an African concept. But you know, the Sakem, okay, the Sakem is the power or the spiritual manifestation, the divided force, that motion, the reason why they're able to move forward and go forward, right? And the last thing, the name, the name. All these things were important. Your name is important. Your heart is important. Your mind, everything is important. That's what makes a person whole. You know, a lot of people are walking around not feeling good about themselves because they don't know who they are and why they are or where they are. But you know, we can't fix all that in one day. It takes some work, right? Yeah. So, but that's really it for today. So what's next? Y'all got homework. Yes, I encourage you guys to read chapter 7 through 9 and check out that new book, The Ethiopia and the Origin of Civilization. Check it out. It's by John G. Jackson. You just listened to King Cam Ujumbe podcast, Ujumbe means message. Oh, I forgot about the recap. What is the main idea for chapter 5? Y'all could tell me. Y'all could type it, in the comments. What is the supreme good? We're not just talking about humanity. What is supreme good for you? What is the son and bottom for you? And what is the salvation of the soul? What is the ultimate salvation of the soul? And name the 3 parts of the Memphite theology of cosmology. There's 3 parts, remember? All right. But once again, you're listening to King Cam Ujumbe podcast, Ujumbe means message. And today's message is Stolen Legacy chapter 6. Okay. Got a few more chapters to go, and that'll be the end of summer school. We may do a session 2. Y'all let me know. But I gotta have a break too, right? Because I am a teacher for real. All right. But thank you guys for coming. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one.